Hello YouTube! So I've recently seen lots of these SWA Sabers commercials online, and I actually was interested in these things. I've always wanted a lightsaber as a kid. I remember getting one of those Walmart lightsabers where it was like a bunch of cones stacked together and you would unsheath it, and I think it came with, like, it needed batteries to actually function and have some sound effects. It was a very cheap looking thing, but I thought it was kind of ingenious at the time when I was a kid. But it eventually broke because the things wouldn't stick all elongated anymore, and because of that, I eventually got rid of it. And it obviously wasn't exactly the same thing, but with all these SWA Sabers commercials going around, and the sabers there look really good. All the advertisements about it also look extremely enticing, and they're real advertisements from people who are fans from Star Wars. Now, I will admit, although I've seen pretty much every Star Wars movie, at least the mainline ones, I can't say much about the side canon or the extended universe stuff, but I am what you would call a casual Star Wars fan. I love the look of lightsabers, the Force, really cool, all that stuff. But admittedly, you can't ask me anything about the lore in depth and expect me to be able to answer properly. So just putting that forth, I'm very much a casual when it comes to Star Wars, but I love lightsabers. What I got was, I believe, the Thaddeus, as it's called on the site. And there's an offer going around on the site right now where you get one lightsaber, you get 2 for free. And that sounds like a really good deal. But there are some catches. For one, the 2 free ones you get are only DuraBlade lightsabers. What's a DuraBlade lightsaber? Well, it's on the website. It's actually a good question. I actually was considering what is the difference between a DuraBlade lightsaber and a Pixel lightsaber, and this is a Pixel lightsaber. The main difference is just mostly in quality. I will put this forth right now. One of the other things I was considering, because I was getting 2 free lightsabers, is can kids use these things? And the answer is no. It's a resounding no. And the manual that you get with this thing, the product manual, it clearly states that people under 14 should not be using this, and it's pretty clear why. It's because these things, as the site says, they're pretty durable. Now, if someone gets hit by this, if they get hit by surprise, they will definitely complain. They might even get knocked out if they're pretty fragile, if they're a little child. So this is not something you would want another kid or irresponsible adult to use around the house. If this thing gets swung around, it will almost certainly break anything that's not stuck to the ground. If it hits a wall, I don't believe it damages the wall. It'll make a big sound, but unless you hit it full force, I don't think it can damage walls. Asterisk. It's pretty durable. I wouldn't say it's a baseball bat per se, but it's definitely going to leave a mark on something, especially a human, if you swing it full force at it. Now, what this means essentially is that you only want to really use this in either a big gym-like area, if you have one in your house, your big expensive house, or you want to use it in outside, not in anywhere really. These things are also very long. It's like I can show it all I want right in front of the camera, but really the easier thing to show would be to go a bit backwards like this. And it hits the ceiling. I'm on a chair, I point it up, and it hits the ceiling. It's not something you can swing around downwards and actually have the room to do that. If you really want to do all kinds of acrobatics with this thing, you have to be outside or in an area with a huge ceiling, a clear area where there's plenty of space. Some people have complained about the weight. Personally, I think it is a little heavier than you might expect when you first get this, the hilt especially. It's the hilt that most people complain about, the weight. The Pixel lightsaber is also heavier than the regular DuraBlade sabers, but overall, I would say the weight is actually perfect. This is a blade that most people, they buy the singular blade, right? There's also double blade, but you buy the singular blade, you think you can just wield it with one hand, and you can. It's heavy with one hand, but you can wield it with just one hand. But it's actually, the hilt is actually just long enough that you can actually use both hands I've got big hands, so they get stuck a bit with each other, but using both hands on this thing, you realize the weight is just perfect for 2 hands. And that's a good thing, in my opinion. As far as the battery is concerned, it doesn't seem to be too great, but I'm also not too positive about how long this thing lasts. I haven't had one run out on me yet, but actually going back and charging this thing, it seems like it still takes hours. I don't remember what they say on the website. I think they said it lasts 8 hours, maybe. I'm not too positive, but either way, this is definitely not something you want to use forever, all day, I want to say. It'd be kind of strange, but of course, I'm a casual. What do I know? But yeah, the Pixel Blade has all these fancy effects. There's also an app on phones that you can download that allows you to modify the thing wirelessly. You have to be pretty close to the blade to be able to do so, but it's pretty neat. The only thing about the app I want to complain about, though, is that there doesn't seem to be anything on the app that says how much battery there's left on the blade. That would be a really nice quality of life feature. But you can modify it being on and off. You can modify a bunch of effects on it. The force effect, I don't even think you can actually do that without the app. There's also a BGM thing which you can do at a few times. It seems to be something that's preset. It also seems to be directly from the movies. I don't know how I feel about that. To be honest, I don't see any purpose for the BGM as it is when it comes to you. It's definitely something you want to replace with, say, Rickroll music or something, you know, to really catch people off guard. The melt effect seems to be the same thing as the lock-up effect, but a little bit more concentrated. Stab is for when you want to do a stabbing motion. It would be really cool if you could do this while fighting, but it seems like, it feels like for the app, it's really much something like someone else is controlling the way the blade works while someone else is also like doing the movie stuff you want to do, right? Which is an advantage the Pixel Blade also has. If you want to do your own Star Wars fan film, this seems to be like a really, really good solution for that. The drag effect doesn't seem to be anywhere on the blade, but it does do a sound effect. So the swing effect isn't really necessary. Swinging this thing by yourself just does the swing effect automatically. So playing the swing effect would primarily, presumably be for if you just want to keep this thing still, but want to have the effect on. Now, blade colors can be switched by just the thing itself. You hold the button for one breath, or rather 2 breaths. 1, 2, and it changes. But personally, the color I really want is orange. But I think most people will be a fan of red. Red is extremely vibrant. It's almost like they favorited it. By standard, the color that your blade will be, though, when you first get it, will be white. A Pixel Blade, anyway. For the DuraBlade, I think they actually come with the color of the, as advertised they were on the website. Because that's what people would want, right? But for Pixel Blades, you can just kind of choose whichever you want. This one didn't come with orange, actually. To actually choose an orange color, I actually had to go on, on the data modify portion of the app, which has lots of options, but the one I really wanted was for the color palette. So under data modify, you can actually choose the color palette of all the different types, but really the only one that I wanted was orange, and that's the only one I'm going to stick with. But if you want to say have something a little different, the color palette function is there. It also adjusts the light length. As you can see, I can modify it like this. Keep it at full now. The default was 120, I believe. Also, you can also adjust the volume of the swings, the hums, and the total volume. There's no voice control volume. I kind of wish I could actually shut the voices up off this thing. I think you can do that by modifying the sounds inside this thing, because I believe you can go inside, check the SD card, and upload your own sound bank to use instead. But it's not that big of a deal. You can also modify the sensitivity if that's something that bothers you. I have drag on really, really low, but I'm not quite sure how sensitivity would work. I would have to test this thing out a little more. Kind of just swing it around and that's pretty much it. And then there's a bunch of other setup options like restore factory settings, the version information, clash on, mod shown control off or on, swing on or off, hum on or off, swing light on or off, or rain light on or off. That would be kind of cool to use this thing in rain. I imagine it's waterproof, but I haven't tested it in water yet. I personally wouldn't try it, but if you want to have a lightsaber battle in rain, this setup thing on the app kind of suggests that it supports it. So that's neat. So let's move on to the unboxing. This is what the box would look like when you first get it. It's pretty big and it contains 3 sabers in this case. As you can see, there's 3 sabers, 3 recharge cords, as well as all the stuff inside for them. There's only 1 belt though. The box will obviously include the DuraBlades as well, or Pixel blades if you got one of those. They look all the same initially, but as shown later, there is a difference that makes it easier to tell them apart. This bag, I don't know what it's for. It seems to be for stickers. I haven't used it, but it is included for whatever reason. For these things, you want to be careful about these small screws inside. These are actually quite valuable. My bags had a few extras, but regardless, you should have at least 3, sometimes 4 inside of them. The reason you need them is for screwing on the blade on the hilts. They're also very easy to lose, as shown right here. If you lose track of them, it's going to be a pain to find on the floor. Now here's 2 blades. They seem to be exactly the same because they're the exact same kind of model, Tediosis. But if you look into the hilts, you can see that one's a Pixel blade and the other is the DuraBlade. The one on the right is the DuraBlade one, the left one is the Pixel one. As for the blades themselves, to tell the difference, you can just look into them. The DuraBlade will be empty, while the Pixel blade will have this small thing that's blocking the way. These are made from the same material as police riot shields use, so that's why they're so durable apparently. It's also another reason why you shouldn't give this to kids. Now to screw on the blade, you just lodge it in. It's a bit easier with the Pixel blade, but the DuraBlade is the same thing. The cone is obviously on top, and then you have to screw it on. It doesn't come off easily if it's not screwed, but if you try to use it while it's not screwed, it'll most likely end up separate. Included in the bags was this handmade screw thing, so it's not a problem to actually do this with the materials provided. But again, if you lose the small screws, it's going to be like you're short on materials to be able to screw these things on. So make sure to keep track of them. Now to recharge the blade, and it's not charged when it comes to you, as far as I can tell. You have to unscrew this long screw at the base of the where the button is. It's usually on the opposite side, and then you have to twist it off. It's a bit tough initially if you try to push it in, but eventually you can do it. And you want to do this gently because this exposes the battery, and you don't really want to damage the battery, do you? Yep, this is where you would plug in the cord. Now the cord seems to be fairly normal, but there is a sticker attached to it, a yellow sticker, that says that you should not turn on the blade when charging. At least that's what I think it says. It just says don't use when charging, so I assume. There's also something on the other side where it says that you should not use PC ports for charging. When it's charging. Yeah, when it's plugged in, it says charging, and it'll be fully charged when the light stops flashing, which can take a few hours. use the small end of the handmade screw here to try to put it in, but the long end is better. Like initially the small side is going to work, but eventually I switched to the long side. Probably off camera, I think. Yeah. Now here's the DuraBlade, an example of how it works. It's the exact same, it's a different model actually from the Theodosius. It's one of the free ones I had. But you press the button for a second or so to turn it on. And then you press it again to turn the blade itself on. So the DuraBlade blade does feel like a lightsaber when you skip on the quote-unquote details. It actually hums while you swing it around. But it won't do a clash effect when it touches something, which is a bit unfortunate. And obviously it's just as long as the Pixel blade, as I showed earlier. If you hold the button, you can do various effects with this thing. Obviously if you hold it for 3 breaths, which is how the button looks, if you look carefully it flashes when you hold it. That's a breath, according to the manual. It's called the breath light. It's not quite clear why it's called that, but that's what it is. So when it's on, just pushing the button once causes the blaster effects. Since it's a DuraBlade, it flashes the entire blade. If you hold the button for 1 breath, it causes the clash effect, which looks cool, but to turn it off you have to push the button one more time. To change colors, you hold the button for 2 breaths. And it locks into this state, which is neat because that means you can just press the button until you find the color that suits you. If you want to exit the state though, you have to shut off the blade. If you hold the button for 3 breaths, it changes the blade effects. When the blade is in standby mode, as shown here, you can change the volume with 1 breath hold.
Low volume.
Which has high volume, low volume, and mute. 2 breaths causes a sound effect, while 3 breaths causes music to play. It depends on the blade what the music will be playing. And it keeps playing even after you turn the blade on, which is neat. But I think it's kind of gimmicky, personally. For reference, holding the button for 4 breaths causes the FOC to change, and motion control on and off for 5 breaths. Anyway, here's what the blade looks like in the darkness. Even the DuraBlade will light up your surroundings quite well. Not as brightly as a Pixel blade, however. And yes, once again, it only fades in and fades out when you boot it up or shut it off. So this is the DuraBlade, this is the Pixel blade. The DuraBlade, you can simulate a clash effect by constantly doing this or holding the button for a second or so and then doing this. But this one, the Pixel blade, anytime it hits something hard enough, it will actually simulate a clash effect by itself. It's the same effect as the blaster effect you do if you press the button once, but if you want to do a more consistent clash effect, you hold the button for a bit and you get this. It's a bit similar to how you hold the button for a second here and you do this. Now, most people will say that the more movie accurate effect seen on this one, the Pixel blade, is better, but I actually kind of like the way the clash effect is done on the DuraBlade a bit better than the actual Pixel blade, because it's all over for the DuraBlade, so it kind of fits us to it's hitting from any angle. This. Well, for this one, it appears it only goes from the center. So if I clash from here, it's kind of off-putting that it's not doing the effect at the proper spot. At least that's the way I feel. As far as shutting off your dim is concerned, Pixel blade definitely has the advantage. This one just fades out, while this one, while there's no custom animation, it's always the same animation. You can actually change the speed the way it goes into the blade, which is very cool. review of the SWA Sabers, the Pixel Blade variant and the DuraBlade variant. If you're even remotely interested in these things, these really cool things, I've got an affiliate link down below, as well as probably one on the screen as well. May the force be with you, and I hope you all have a very nice day. Bye-bye!